So I made a video. I think it was. Oh, it says 1 day ago. I think it's a little over a day ago now. It's called SNK Dropped the Ball Evo this year. And I still agree with that statement. But since it got about 6 times the views I was expecting, 6 times the views in general I was expecting for a video I just put out there, because I was waiting on the Kevin Ryan stream I did. I was waiting for it to download, but it couldn't download because the stream itself on YouTube hadn't finished doing its thing, so it wouldn't allow me to download my own video yet. And I put this out, and well, for one, the like to dislike ratio up. It's pretty wild. I thought I'd make a follow-up. Also, I got 39 comments, which I think is the most comments I've ever gotten on a video, as sad as that sounds. And yeah, let's start with this one. This is a good one. This guy's really excited for Kevin. You know, I'm glad someone's happy about Kevin making it into City of the Wolves. They're putting their focus into City of the Wolves right now. Clearly not. At least the marketing team isn't. I'm sure SNK and the staff is putting plenty of time into City of the Wolves. Whatever genius did not stand up and say, you know, popular Fatal Fury characters we could have shown this year. And he's like, nah, do Kevin Ryan, the top tier that is basically Ralph and Clark combined. Not moveset-wise, but just like design and with explosives. Onyx, my boy, agreed with me, obviously. Oh boy, I'm glad I wasted 36 minutes of my life seeing someone coping. And I'd say the coping really happened the day before, on Friday, when I was hoping we would see more than just fucking Bison mature, and I thought that was just going to be a little tease, a little appetizer for the rest of the season. That was the cope, and me thinking SNK wouldn't backstab us. Not to mention the fact that you could have definitely just pressed the escape key. In fact, I mentioned it here in my replies. Anyway, they shouldn't add special. Agreed. There's nothing special about Vice and Mature, at least in the context of KOF. SNK, Bandai Namco, all act like re-releasing old characters is some big deal. Guilty Gear is the only one shaking it up their own. So, yeah, I guess shaking it up wise, Guilty Gear is doing that the most. Not to mention, this video is also before I got to see the rest of EVO and compare. And I'd say that the rest of the announcements this year was still better than what SNK put out. I'm not typically an SNK hater, but I've been cut by SNK this year. Usually I'm the one that defends SNK. Chris is usually the one that will typically be a bit more harsh on them for their decisions, which I would sort of agree with sometimes, but never really be like, it's enough of a problem. But this year, they really dropped the ball, and I'll get to that later. Having Mars people and SPC Chaos makes up for this rip-off Freddy guy. I don't know who Freddy is. If you mean Fred, like from Scooby-Doo, there might be a point there if you really squint your eyes and have glaucoma. This feels like they didn't actually... Okay, so a lot of this is kind of agreeing with me. A lot of the comments are agreeing with me. The like ratio is, someone needs a better mic. I have a Snowball from 2020, and it works fine. The issue is crisp, and the other issue is, I wouldn't really need crisp for a video like this if it wasn't the middle of summer during a heat wave where I'm at, and the fans and the AC and everything else make a ton of noise, so I needed something to cancel out all that noise so you guys don't feel like the inside of your skull is a jackhammer. Even if I agree with some of these things, Vice and Mature being underwhelming, only announcing Ryan Vergara 2, it was a little bare bones. I think the critique KOF 15 roster is pretty contradictory. I agree, 100%. I should not have included the part where I rant about KOF 15, but again, this video is one of those videos I kind of just threw together and thought would get at most 100 views, and it was one of those things that Pyrocynical would refer to as slop, where I kind of just put it out there and edited like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the video and then left the rest unedited because, again, my channel doesn't get very many views, so I wasn't expecting any sort of return on this. But boy was I wrong. Now, I reply to most of these people because I don't get many commenters, and I think that replying to people is probably the best form of engagement. Bro, they were practically the only ones who really delivered. The fuck are you talking about? Listen, man, I kind of disagree. They were not the ones that delivered this year. The ones that delivered this year was ArcSys, and I don't even really play Guilty Gear. And hell, Capcom delivered. We knew exactly what we were getting into with Capcom this year, which is we're going to see a Terry Bogard trip. And they delivered. There was references in that little World Tour thing that I thought was cool. I thought the fact that Terry was fighting Lau from, one of those really obscure characters that Matt McMuscles will commonly talk about in TKO podcast. So KOF DLC, SBC Chaos, and a new reveal. I mean, when you put it like that, no. But when you look into the DLC and the new character they revealed, yes. So there's this little thing in the English language for all of my non-native English-speaking fans out there called a precedent. And SNK has set a precedent of showing a new season, especially if they have something special that they're going to say when they on Twitter or anywhere else where they announce it, is that there's going to be special character. I think it was just going to be shown. Nothing is special about Bison Mature in the context of KOF. Kind of like nothing is special about Kyo or Iori in the context of KOF. They're special in their own right, but not to KOF. Don't get me wrong, I like Bison Mature. I'm a big fan of Mature, actually. I think she's a very fun character. But, to be honest, yeah, they dropped the ball. And I'm a whiner? Sure, I'm a whiner. But at least I'm not a fucking meat rider like you are, buddy. Imagine ending off a very good KOF game with two characters that are asset flips. Imagine defending a reveal that was outshined by the actual Summer Games Fest. You know, that thing that just shows off a bunch of upcoming games that no one really asked for, with, like, the ones that they did ask for thrown in there, sprinkled in throughout, like, that hour-and-a-half long show. So, enjoy riding that meat. I'm sure when you walk, shit just falls out of you like a horse. Why are they adding Kevin without Freeman? I think we're going to see Freeman, if we're going to see Kevin. I thought last game they kind of resolved that story, and that's why I thought these characters weren't coming back. Kevin's story revolves around getting vengeance on Freeman. These modern games are total crap, and the comic book style for this game is garbage. I disagree with you there. These modern games are fantastic. EX moves are fantastic. All the new mechanics in new fighting games are incredible. The comic book style is probably the best work SNK's done visually with their games. It's up there with KOF 13. Honestly. I don't think a single character we've seen has actually looked bad. Which was mostly the case with KOF 15, but, Maxima and Whip looked a little off. Maxima had a serious case of chimpanzee face. So, yeah. I mean, I like Vice Mature, but why would anyone announce now? It's like 5 months away. Right. So we're getting Vice in Mature, and I'll get into this later. You know what? I completely agree with this guy here. We should have gotten Adelheid. I think if they were going to end off the season with only a few characters, Vice and Mature, and then throw in Adelheid, that would have made up for it. That would have made all of this drop the ball thing go away, because we would have gotten one actual Tales of Ash Saga character. One of those, that saga everyone really likes the characters from. Except, like, the old heads, somewhat. I'm personally, Tales of Ash Saga is my favorite saga. I think they did the most interesting stuff with Tales of Ash Saga.